Hello, everybody. Welcome to the August session of Bouncyrock's bi-monthly banter. We're here today to give you guys updates, answer questions, and generally tell you what all's going on with Tailspire. So, with that, as you can see today, we actually have everybody here, pretty much the whole main team. So, with that, I'll hand it over to you guys, and then I'll be back to MC questions.
Sweet. Good evening. All right. Yeah, it's been another couple of months, which is crazy. Yeah, we've been working on a bunch of little things. It feels like a load of setup for stuff that's coming down the line. But during that time, we did definitely get in some performance improvements for kind of lower end machines, along with we got that builder present stuff. So as you move around, we've got nice visuals for that. We've been working with Titancraft on integration, so you can export directly from your creations there out to Tailspire, with some more exciting things coming down the line with them in time. We've added a whole bunch of attachment points to things that needed them, and of course, there's a normal flow of bug fixes. We have got about to land, obviously, this beta that's in progress at the moment with the AoEs that can be in the initiative list. So you can jump around between them and do some more things. We've been crying out for that a long time. That was one of the most upvoted things in our user feedback. So thank you for upvoting them. It really does count when we're trying to organize ourselves. Along with that, we have the box ruler, which is in production at the moment. Is getting some love on the visual side because that is not my forte. And then that's nearly there. So that will be seen in the near future too. Started work on the dice engine, so doing some fun kind of compiler stuff. I got a little distracted by box ruler stuff, so that's been there. Jerry's been working hard on tags and search side of things, so we've got some prototypes done for that already. So we tagged all the stuff. We came up with a new tagging system, a new set of core tags, which of course can be extended by you folks in future. But then we got a contractor to go around through and retag everything using the new system, so we could check that the results were same. They're looking great. So then we went and he's been prototyping new search stuff, and now we have to make the kind of production version because we want like live search, everything nice and fast, just stuff that feels good. It's the little things there that really add up. So yeah, we're working on that. And yeah, on stuff that's very much not on my side is yeah, we have some stuff from the Shogun set that we'll be talking about soon as well. And yeah, actually, I'll kick over to the others because yeah, other stuff becomes a little more kind of futury and stuff like that.
Johnny, take it away.
Sure. Yeah. So as I wrote in a devlog a while back, and I'm back, but also sort of like just trying to get my bearings on things. One of the things that we ended up working on as a result of that was the Shogun set, and I've been trying to get all of the pieces into game here, and I've managed to get a bunch of the external pieces untextured to show people here today, and along with some props that Jason's been working on. So let me just share that, see if I can manage that. Let's see.
Let me see if I might have to do some live debugging here as I switch the screen share feed. Aha! Perfect. Excellent.
Is that coming through okay, chat?
All right. So if you guys are seeing the stuff here, so these are, yeah, this is sort of it's the untextured. Well, when I say untextured, it's not colored. So it's the uncolored versions of the exterior of the Shogun Palace. So we have a bunch of different wall types. We have like a foundation wall, a diagonal type of dressing wall. I'm not entirely sure what to call those things. And then there are multiple roof pieces. So these are not like, it's basically what we've been showing in the high poly. It's just that now it's actually in game, and yeah, we can build and stuff, which is awesome. The things that Jason have added is some additional trees that are made up of different pieces that we can chain together using the attachment system. We have a gong over here. There's a couple of samurai models, and there's a crane. Like that.
Sick.
And there's also the golden dragon.
Nice.
But yeah, those are those assets, along with the exterior parts to the Shogun Palace. There's also going to be interior pieces, and I haven't done those in game yet. So I'm just, but there's some floor pieces and some like rice paper walls or like type of things that can be used to dress the inside, basically, and also some mats that can be combined into different patterns.
Awesome.
So yeah,
this sounds like it's gonna be one of the kind of biggest packs we'll be shipping for a while, if I'm right.
it has grown a bit, that's for sure. There's probably there could probably be more props in this set, but as far as pieces go, the roof is a big one because it requires a little bit of extra stuff to be able to get like a bit of a and there's still some stuff that I want to play with when it comes to like larger corner pieces that gives a little bit more of a curvature, but we'll see what makes it into the final version. But absolutely, it's a bunch of stuff.
Ready.
I'm gonna stop sharing.
That's looking good, man. I haven't seen it in game, and the work in progress pieces. Yeah, good job.
Yeah,
Well, thank you. It's a nice place to sort of start coming back, just doing some art before tackling a lot of the design tasks and things like that. So, and well done on the props, looking ace.
Thanks. By the way, that golden dragon was not done by me. It was done by a one of our like buddies who we contract every once in a while, Stian. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, he's great. He's done a lot of models for Tailspire that I love them. And yeah, the golden dragon is actually like one of my favorites. It's a really cool piece. So excited to get that in.
Yeah, he's always great for the hero stuff. Yeah. So yeah, rocking on from there as well. We'll be like, we got a bunch more stuff that's coming this year. Of course, the dice system. There's like one of the kind of big on the feature side. One of the big things I really want to land this year, and is looking very probable, is an update to the vision system. So the idea is that you'll be able to limit how far your players can see. This will be done in kind of a sphere around them. It'll be we're working on how it will be configured, but there will be a range around every kind of player's character, and they'll all be at the whole party will be able to see what everyone sees. So it's not full fog of war. That we are still working on that. There are fresh designs coming in, like as of last night, like new ideas and experiments we're trying. So it's still very much on the cards. But what we want for this year is to make sure we have something that allows you to do decent dungeon crawling. So that's very much that's very much on the cards there. We also have some stuff we'll be looking into, which I hope will be later this year. We're going to be doing some experiments with prop variations. And that will include different orientations of things. So if you have your pipes and you've been wanting to rotate them, if you have various props and been wanting to rotate them, we have some things coming there. I can't say exactly what form it'll take, but we're committed to be doing something in that direction. So yeah, I've got code branches where we've done kind of rotational experiments, and we will be diving back into that at some point. And getting that to ship. So yeah, that's kind of like some of the kind of big things on the feature side that we'll be shipping. Obviously, the other stuff that we said that's already in flight. From there on, we got to look at kind of tile and prop modding. But with that, I'm going to see if we start tile and prop modding with spaghetti scripting. It might be that comes a little later. It's probably sensible that we do ship it a little later so we can just get something, out a little faster. To be honest, we'll probably head over to the questions soon, because your guys are going to know exactly what to ask for us to tell you anyway. So, stop me rambling.
I'll say before we get to the questions, I've just been seeing some general chatter. Jason, do you have any update about the mega sector?
Yeah, so Mega Sector's coming along. It's just that like it's on hold for a little bit right now. I've kind of switched gears over to Kickstarter stuff. We got to get the Kickstarter stuff out of the way this year. So look, here's what's going to happen. This is the mega sector's pause for now. Unless I don't know, unless something comes out and like Johnny's like, oh dude, I'm so inspired by the mega sector and I'll help you. and I don't think that's going to happen. So the thing is, the Kickstarter stuff will include a bunch of minis and 2 tile sets. All right. So there will be 2 other tile sets coming. More news on that as it comes, because I gotta talk with the backers again and make sure that their original designs or their original ideas are still in play here before we get back and actually start working on that stuff. So yeah, that's my fault. I was doing some experiments with the mega sector, and it was taking a long time, and there was some things that were coming in between, and we weren't getting out packs, so I would work on like a distraction pack almost, and just be like, hey man, here's a collection of props, you guys, just to get stuff out there for you guys, because the designs that like were coming in, I wasn't really happy with, and we were actually experimenting with some stuff on the mega sector that kind of didn't really work out. I had some ideas about some like veneers, like wall size veneers that you can just slap into things and without tile snapping and other things like that. It wasn't feeling good at all. And so yeah, we're still experimenting. The base set's there. It's in game, almost kind of like what you're seeing with the Shogun set. The base set is there. It's just we need more before we ship that. So since that has taken so long, my plan was to get like to the rest of the Kickstarter stuff in July, and I'm already behind. So I'm diving into that real quick, and I'm going to try to not rush through it, because I want to make sure that things look good for the backers and everything like that. But I'm going to try, I'm going to work hard to get that done, and we'll see where that takes me. So sorry that the mega sector is probably, you're not going to see that for a little bit. All right. But you will eventually. All right. So.
That's the real fucker with experiments, is one of the possible results is, better try the option B.
I was like, dude, this is gonna be awesome. Trust me, and then it was like, ooh, no.
It's like the fog of war. It's like, I've got this, and I gave it over to like Panda, and then 10 minutes later, it's like, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
Spent 6 months, and it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the game. But cool. Yeah, it's really good to get back to the Kickstarter backers, because they're the reason we were able to get to early access at all. So it's been like, it's phenomenal. So yeah, it's I'm glad they're lovely. I'm very, very patient bunch. So we've got to show some loves.
Yeah. With that, let's go ahead and get into the actual Q&A, unless anybody has anything else they'd like to update the folks on.
If I do, I've forgotten.
Okay. So our first question of the day comes from Dylan the Cripple, who asks, can we get half-height walls for all the packs?
Probably one for you,
John. That is not something we planned on doing. I guess that's the answer. I mean, we are probably revisiting a lot of the tile sets to see things that needs to be added eventually. So that might be a time for then. Which are the sets that currently have half walls? I assume there are some saying that.
I think the desert set may have a half wall. If I possibly. Most of them do not. If the desert set even has one, that has so many pieces, I can't even remember. But just like everything else, man, we'll experiment with it. Yeah, and we definitely will be expanding on all of the rest of the tile sets in the future, like with diagonals, possible towers and things like that. It'd be cool to have diagonals in most sets, but functionally they need to feel good before we really put in like that extra effort. And we have to finish some of the other stuff. But the plan has always been to expand and possibly re-deliver some of them, like the sewer set, for instance. I'd like to revisit. So we'll see what the future brings. I guess half walls aren't out of the question. It was just need to be experimented with.
It was pointed out that
They,
half the modern sets apparently have half walls.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's probably
There's so
why,
many
yeah,
pieces
all right.
in the game now that it's difficult
I
to
know,
keep track
it's-
of
yeah.
all of them. Just if there's not a request for it already, make a request and then get people to push that upward button, because a lot of the choices that we make when, like with the Shogun thing now, it was like going to that list and seeing like what people were wanting, and it was like that aligned with something that I was excited about doing. So then we did that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and Tailspire enthusiast, if that's your if that triplet comment is your own making, top tier, well done. Like, give me a giggle.
Dylan also asks, how does the pipeline look for 45 degrees walls for all the other packs?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just like that.
Yeah, we've got tooling stuff to do. Is what we have to do.
Tooling first. We do. The mega sector and the mega dungeon are going to have those things. So those are kind of going to be like the go-tos for now. All right, and just so we can have those in game. So if you need diagonal walls in like a dungeon, whatever like that, you have it. But we absolutely want to bring those after the tooling is and they feel good to build with and stuff. 100% going to expand on the other sets. 100%.
Yeah, there's some issues surrounding like roofs and stuff like that. That's a bit interesting when it comes to
oh Jesus, I didn't even think of that.
things. So that's also a part we have to experiment with. Roofs already are complicated, so that sort of increases that complexity and the amount of time we have to spend on finishing a set. So that is things that needs to be taken into consideration when adding diagonal functionality to sets.
Black Wolf Magic asks, will we get an official image import feature like Hollow's image to plane mod that will help out with speed building? Thanks.
No plans on that one, actually. There's some interesting things we're kind of looking down the line for kind of blueprint based building, but it's still as vague as my sentence is. So yeah, but not like just putting an image on the board. If it was to do with like actually you're going to share content with other players for things for them to see and notes and stuff like that, yep. But no, I think I understand. Yeah, for building ones, nope.
Zach Grimm asks, will we ever get a free camera mode in the cutscene mode, and what's the timeline look like on that, if so?
Yeah, I mean, the cutscene mode's getting a big old is on the cards for a big old rework. We've got the sequencer, which was kind of delayed for a while. That will get kind of done, and then we'll see how some of that stuff flows back into the cutscene mode. That the sequencer has free camera kind of placement stuff, but yeah.
Black Wolf Magic asks, can we get prop versions of existing build pieces to allow for more construction variations?
There's some things that could be broken out into props, but like you have to be careful with that kind of stuff. Again, jumping guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but like there are things like for things to be nice to play with, they have to be of a certain kind of scale and feel. And some of the kind of detail features are things we wouldn't want to break out. If you're talking about entire tiles like like a wall and floor tile, no, that won't be a prop because it would fight building wise.
Okay. Grimbeard Adventure asks, I've asked this a few times behind the scenes, but are there any plans for selling game keys directly to players? This was more important before seats, but it's still handy for giveaways.
Yeah, Steam. We don't have a way to do that. That's the kind of main thing. We don't like Steam doesn't. As far as I remember, like doesn't have a mechanism for us to be able to kind of sell a batch of keys. So again, while we're like, I think you should have received a message on like I think we sent your keys some keys your way for the giveaway. But yeah, other than that, it's yeah, we haven't seen a way of doing that yet. I'm not sure if something else becomes available once we're out of early access, but do you remember anything, Johnny?
No, I don't think there's any like without going with like different vendors in the future. I don't think there's a good way of selling those things. And one thing is um, having like a vendor to handle that stuff, and the reason why that's important is things like accounting and et cetera, et cetera. So it quickly becomes complicated.
Yeah, you also have
That's
like
why it's easier to just give away keys, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, it was also like that region kind of problem as well, isn't there? Because like I think that's like because Steam stopped doing packs when they started introducing like the kind of regional based prices kind of things.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hypno Twist asks, any Fog of War updates?
I can, in the kind of broader question of vision stuff, we'll obviously be doing that thing this year for limiting vision, which takes care of some part of that, which is like limit what your players can see so you can actually do dungeon crawls in a sensible way. So we will have that. But on the Fog of War side, it's like we are looking at that problem. We're trying to get all of the kind of things, which is like what full 3D Fog of War that like does what you expect and is also persistent, so it saves for the entire duration of your history and also doesn't take up masses of space because that costs money. Like it's difficult both to sync down to you and also to store forever. So we're just making sure that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot there. It is a fun problem, but it's a real stinker. Like I like the first attempt that we had was like my best shot at the time, even though the visuals were like rubbish. But like the mechanism of it, I was like, oh, this has some decent properties, and then it failed. So but yeah, there's like I say, there are things going like on even now, like trying to work out that puzzle.
Tailspire Enthusiast asks, does Bouncyrock have plans to advertise or market Tailspire in the near future? A bigger community would definitely make more maps, mods, groups, etc. available for all.
So we do some spots on some like D&D tubers channels, you know. You've probably seen us on Z if you guys watch that, or Dungeon Craft. You know, like as far as big campaigns during early access, I don't know, man.
It's difficult. Like so we have like obviously as you've seen, like social media is like Facebook is kind of dying and in its own very tedious way, and Twitter is that whole thing, and so reach has really changed the way like people are spread out in different ways, and like the results there are just not what they were. At least that's what we've seen. As far as doing like bigger kind of promotional things, it's intense because like every dollar of that like that we put into that kind of thing is like a gamble, and we want to reach people, but that's also like something we could be building things for you and hopefully reach kind of organically as well. It's tough. Like we've looked at various options at various times, and it's just it's tricky. I don't know how to be more precise on that one.
Yeah, by all means, if you have anyone who has like any ideas of people we could advertise with, have them reach out to me, Uriah at bouncyrock.com, and
Definitely do that.
the email should be somewhere on our actual website, and then you know, that can we can facilitate getting something possibly set up. We can always have those conversations.
For sure. Yeah, we love working with people.
JA07SJ asks, would there be any way to get a modifier key to nudge things by quarter tile increments to make it easier to paste complex shapes? Currently, we have a few inconsistent assets where things like the castle pack have walls that sit right in the center of their tile, and walls in subsequent packs have walls that take up 1/2 of a tile. Unfortunately, some of the mismatched tile sizes and orientations cause issues, particularly when they're copy-pasted along with a full-size tile.
I can speak to a little of that. So there are some current issues with pasting slabs of certain things, and that's like there's one bug there that like needs to be fixed. I fixed one part of it and managed to kind of the problem popped up in another combination of assets. So that one I still have to nail down. I think it's safe to say that we're not going to be like changing how the fundamental like alignment to the grid works, but definitely report like issues with tiles that you're having, because we're obviously happy to look at those. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Do you have more to add on that one, Johnny?
The castle tile set is primarily the one that has a bit of a different structure to it. I think maybe in a sense the sewer one does as well, but that makes problem more sense because it doesn't it's not as compatible in the same way. And before Hannah went off leave, she was working on a revamped version of the Castle 01 tile set to accommodate the type of building that we've continued since then. I think the Castle 01 might be, was it the third tile set that was made, or was it the second one?
I think it was the second one, man.
Yeah, because it was the tavern and then that one and then the sewer, right?
Yeah. And so when these tiles were made when we didn't even know what the heck this thing was going to be or what we were doing. And I think that was even before floors, right? You know, before any kind of like height or anything.
Oh yeah,
like that.
yeah. We didn't.
Yeah.
When that came out, it was a purely 2-dimensional thing.
And so like I think I was inspired by like some sort of like castle thing in Diablo 3 at the time, and just the shapes in the walls, and you know, and of course that doesn't work well now with just about any other tile sets. So compatibility, yeah, man, there's some issues for sure. But like Johnny said, we are going to work on stuff like that in the future. And I totally forgot that Hannah was actually working on that to make it a little more compatible, which is super cool. But we hear you. Yeah, there are issues. Those are valid issues, man, with tiles and some of the walls and stuff not really getting along with others. So it's something that we'll continue to look into as the game progresses.
That guy Baldrex asks, I assume adding new prop rotations will mean a change to the slab format?
Yes, all current slabs will be backwards compatible. Everything will keep working, and we will document the new format so you can carry on generating the monster boards that you do. So yes.
Hutch Million asks, is there any plan to make a search tool for the official mod repository?
Ooh, that's a fun one. So we will be improving the search on it, because you can search it now from in there, but yeah, it's only based on name. We have the tagging system. Once we've done the search, we're going to get the tags, and we ship our own creatures with the tags. We'll be updating Tailweaver Lite to allow you to use to tag things, so you can then push those tags to mod.io, and then you'll be able to search with tags in game. So we will be working on that. It won't be like for like with the internal with the search of stuff that's already downloaded locally, just because when it's local we can do things much faster. There's no web requests, but the community content that is downloaded, like once it's down, our search engine will work on that as well. So yeah, I think I'm saying that right. I'm sure Chair will pop up in the chat saying no if I promised too much there, but yeah, that's where we're at. Or he'll just kick down the door because he's over.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say he should be over there right now.
Zach Grimm asks, in the future after Tailspire is out of beta, will packs like purchasable DLCs, or will there be plans for free packs always?
Yeah, it's like something we've talked about before, isn't it?
Yeah, so the plan was for once we went out of early access to start like making bigger packs that we would then charge for. But as the library has grown, because we've been taking forever, and we've just been producing a ton more assets than what we were anticipating, we don't really know what the future is going to look like, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, look, like, just I will always release little things, even for free. Little
Yeah.
things. You guys will always get little like shit. Like if there's like holidays and I'm like inspired and I'm like, ah man, we need to kill a scare. I'm always gonna release little things. I will do that. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's gonna come a point. I don't know how long, like, because we're doing like, we're doing features. We're trying to like take our time and make them feel good and everything like that. It's like it's gonna come a point where it's like there's nothing to release. There's gonna be like every tile set that that you could dream of. So it's like, yeah, I don't
That
know.
said,
We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's no set plan to. Yeah, like Johnny said.
It's difficult to know what the future will bring.
Yeah.
We're also going to be expanding even more modding support, and the community is itching to create tile sets and things
Oh
like that.
God.
And,
Yeah. Once modding is done, dude, look at how many minis
yeah,
are out
over
there
4
right now.
over
Thousands.
4,000.
Thousands.
Some crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. Well, yeah, we'll see what makes sense as long as people want stuff and as long as people
Yeah. If they
ask
want the
for things.
official
I
stuff,
think,
right? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's no reason as long as people are playing Tailspire.
Yeah. Exactly.
Chair says yes, we will be doing the things I said, and he also threatened to kick down the door regardless, so that's good. So that's enthusiasm. So that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like even to add into that mix of like where things could go. Panda's been at Gen Con recently, and walking around, there's plenty of people who are creators who are saying, "Hey, I sell this kind of pack, this kind of content. Can I do that in Tailspire?" And we don't have an answer for that yet. That is something we need to talk about. It's interesting stuff.
Hypno Twist asks, resize rotate tool still maybe? And why not some general props that can be kit bashed to make our own props, like how we have wood beams or rocks?
Yeah, so we're probably not. Well, we're not going to go any more granular, I think, with the assets. So as far as like kick bashing, originally the idea behind being able to combine things in Tailweaver was other people could make combinations of tiles and combinations of props, but this was like way long ago because we didn't really. I didn't really want those types of tools inside of Tailspire proper. So beyond what like experiments we're doing with like variants, yeah, there's unlikely going to be any scaling and rotation, like free rotation at least on props.
Yeah, but in theirs, that's the answer, isn't it? Like when prop and tile modding comes out, you can kit bash in there and produce the artifact that goes into the game, whether it be proper tile. So yeah, you can combine other things that I guess will be made by the community and such. Yeah.
Blappo asks, do you have any future plans for the DM view stuff, like markers and atmosphere controls expanding? I would love a way to leave notes behind when I am building for other builders, or for ideas for what loot might be in a room.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is plenty of thoughts and designs around how to expand that, including stuff like notes. Yeah, you just need to get it down on paper and figure out like where it is in the timeline of things. But that's definitely something we want to do.
Yeah, that's one of the big bits of work that's kind of happening behind the scene that is kind of chugging on it'll be going on for many months. That won't be like immediate results for you folks, but just getting designs down, getting like, the kind of more than just a roadmap, which is really cool.
JA07SJ asks, I remember Ree showing off some weather effects like wind and rain maybe a year ago. It seems super cool, but I don't think it was ever made it on the roadmap. Is it still something planned for release?
Yeah, I was playing around with some wind effects in trees, at least. Oh yeah, no, actually, I did also play around with some rain stuff. This was when we were hoping to port the VFX graph that Unity introduced into the scriptable rendering pipeline renderers, and had a version for the standard renderer, which is the one that we use, that they decided to discontinue. And for a time there, it looked like I was able to backport it into the version that we're using, but I had to sort of abandon that. We are still looking to do weather effects.
Hell yeah. And if that's not on the roadmap, we'll be sure to add it. Because, yeah.
As I said, it is marked as planned.
Oh, good. Oh, good. That's right.
NGP Regan Noob Going Pro asks, the previous question about images, this may be the same. If I want to add graffiti on the walls, such as written warnings to fellow crawlers.
We don't have anything planned for that, at least. But that's more likely to be a thing, maybe at some point, than the map.
Slow Dive fan asks, have you guys had any time to finish Baldur's Gate 3?
Nope.
No.
Hey, Slow Dive.
Hello.
No.
Yeah.
I'm in
I
Act
want to.
3.
Dude, I picked it up the other day, and like I started over because I was like I'm like I don't even remember where I was or anything like that, so I just started over. So I'm probably never gonna finish that game. But hey, you know what? It's cool because like this playthrough is like almost completely different. I was a Durgar the first time, so I was being an asshole, and this time I'm just like a regular dwarf, and I'm trying to be all nice and cool, you know. So a lot of different choices and a lot of different outcomes, which is awesome. But yeah, no, man, it's unfortunate. It's such a cool game.
Yeah, I've managed to take more free time, but it has generally been going on like DIY and home stuff.
Yeah. The stronghold.
Yeah. Stay out, build a wall.
AZ Desert Smurf asks, are spell effects available? And if so, where do I find them?
There are a few on creatures. If you have a creature selected and then you right click on another creature, there's an option to attack, and you can send a few spells. There's a limited set right now, but we do want to expand. But that's one of the things that we're like, we really want a particle system. And then, as you've heard, some of the complications with porting over Unity's one, and so now we are building our own, or at least speccing that out to build our own.
Brock's crew says, first of all, once more, thank you guys for giving us this great game / toolset / platform to use for D&D, etc. Now, as for my question, any updates on the weather effects, etc.? Yes, I ask that each time, and as last time, no rush, just curious.
So,
Well, thank you, first of all.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
thanks for letting us do this. It's cool.
Yes.
And we kind of answered the the effects question a little bit ago. Is there anything more to add really on that?
Not now, unless they have a more specific question. So throw it in the chat, and we will try and get to it.
I will say, as someone who doesn't work on that side of the game, I'm just as excited and possibly, well, you're actually probably more patient for that than I am. So,
Dylan the Cripple asks, ramps win?
wait, ramps? Okay, so we have a ramp right now in the industrial set, but it's, I think, at a 45-degree angle, which is kind of crazy. It's like building. Oh, the gradual like slope for tiles, man, and snapping and and getting them all together and behaving nice. We would maybe could do it with like a 4x2 or something, and like make ramps like you know at a I don't know how to do like ramps properly right now. I'm sorry, man. Like I said, like you know, we do have the ramps, but it's more of a slide. So
Now I'm interested. What would kind of what's the kind of thing on the two, like doing a 2x1, like a 2 long by 1 up kind of thing? What's the restriction there? Oh, Johnny left. No ramps.
oh yeah, he's like screw
Sorry,
this.
guys. I have some technical issues.
All right. No, it's
Still
just
here.
it's almost like the circular kind of thing, like you know, on a grid, and to make like how would we do like a nice gradual, like if you did like a 35-degree angle to make ramps like actually like a ramp instead of a slide, right? You know what I'm saying? Because like right now we have a ramp that's because it's a stair. Okay, so we have the stair block. I'm making a ramp out of a stair block essentially, and so the stair block is cut at like actually it's more than a 45-degree angle. It's kind of like a triangle essentially, you know.
Yeah.
So like having a ramp instead of having it like you know, but more of a gradual slope, but doing that with like a 1x1 tile, right?
Oh yeah, not with a 1x1.
That's yeah. So it's like how it's like a design thing where you're trying to make it so like okay.
So in
yeah,
the case of the slopes, like we're talking, what are we talking here? Are we talking?
like a ramp, like if
Yeah.
you were to say like like on a 40K battlefield, right? And you have
Okay.
like a ramp that goes up to like you know just a plateau that you
Right.
know like a metal ramp that isn't so that isn't so steep.
So steep.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the answer would be to do it over multiple tiles. I guess.
Yeah,
Like do it
yeah.
over, like have a 2x1 type of thing.
People are throwing out 1x2 and 2x4. Chat.
Yeah, and then to
Yeah.
have those kind of like, if you wanted to have it like gradually slope up, it would have to just the measurements would have to be right, and we would have to just design.
Oh, are you thinking like a this kind of ramp?
No.
Like a BMX
Just,
ramp? Okay, yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Just like a gradual a ramp that's not so steep.
So it seems like it would be a fairly doable thing.
Yeah.
So add a feature request for it, or like an asset request.
Yeah,
for
it's
it
just
rather.
something to think about. That's all. You know, kind of like with
Hmm.
like the circular towers, we had to put some thought into it to be like, okay, how do we
Sure.
do it? You know,
Hmm.
so yeah, put an asset request in it because I would actually like that myself. Like if you're playing 40K or something like that, it'd be cool to have ramps that
Awesome.
aren't cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I haven't considered like less steep ramps, so that's cool.
Should be fine.
Gotta have all dungeons being ADA compliant.
Yeah. Nice.
NGP Gregan Noob Going Pro back again asks, regarding marketing, have you thought of making up a one-shot D&D module and offering it to, and then Twitch unfortunately censored their message there, for DMs willing to run the adventure. And thank you guys for staying up late for this update.
No worries.
So the question was whether or not we considered making like a one-shot D&D module.
And being able to offer like the campaign as a thing.
Okay, yeah. So from the get-go, that's something we've been wanting to do.
Yeah.
To make actual campaigns and sort of have them play inside of Tailspire.
Yep.
So yeah, when we're done with all of the design work that needs to be done for all of the systems that are pending, would love to like see how we can integrate that. One of the things that we've been talking about pretty much every Halloween is doing some sort of companion thing that would sort of play on the side in a way, where it would provide slabs and things as the story progressed that we would sort of place inside of the game. And now that we have symbiotes, that could even be integrated. I doubt we'll have the ability to do that just because of time. We have so many things that we want to do, but it would be so fun
Yeah.
to do something like that. So yeah, making D&D modules for people to play that's sort of well integrated in Tailspire is a bit of a dream of at least mine, and I think other people's here share it. So.
100%.
Rad. Yeah.
Shari Call asks, is there any plans to increase the amount of boards a campaign folder / save can support at one time?
So I was following you right up to like where it comes to campaign folder or save. Like, so if the folders have weird limitations in the board list, then that's a problem. You should be able to have any number of boards in a folder. If it's just how many boards can be in a campaign full stop, I haven't thought of upping that in a while. But throw a request in so we can track that and we know how pressing that is, because yeah, if I think, how many boards is it, like 100 200 boards in a campaign that's possible right now? I can't remember, but yeah, let us know.
Choco Monkey 27 asks, will the vision limiting feature have any interaction with light or mini torches for areas of darkness?
Well, I suppose we wouldn't want to show lights in areas that are outside of the range, so it's less a dark vision and more a range limit. So it, like I guess one version of that would be like, would the lights themselves have the same kind of reveal volumes? And the answer for the first version will be no, I'm pretty sure. We'll see how that grows. I mean, ultimately, I would like to think that this feature would like naturally become redundant when Fog of War comes in, but we'll see, because we'd rather have one system that does a really good job and feels natural than a whole bunch of like, this is okay here and this is, yeah, exactly, that kind of stuff. So yeah, speaking to your question, I light stuff, not any complex interaction other than just hiding them.
Zach Grimm asks, will we get a different way / invisible way to place lighting at some point without relying on props? Getting by with invisible blocks and hiding them in other props is okay, but sometimes it's not enough.
Do you want to take them on, Johnny?
Yeah, I just need to internalize that questions with okay, so different way to place lighting at some point without relying on props. Okay, so we have been basically placing lights without like having a system for placing lights, which we've talked about a lot. I know that Jason is very passionate about having something like that, and I think it's something we should revisit.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time back in Neverwinter Nights 2. I was like, the only way I can get some scenes to look nice, lighting, and I don't give a fuck. Like fake lighting, it doesn't have to be natural source of light. If like you just light something up in like a corner of a dungeon and it looks cool, it's like, yeah. I don't know, man. Anyways, I'm all about that.
That's fair.
That guy Baldrix asks, are there any news, thoughts, ideas on a terrain system? I need to make larger maps.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not been forgotten. As you've seen, we've been down some people for a while, and so some things had to wait. So yeah, like we're still chewing on it, and we're looking forward to the next kind of planning session and prototyping stuff. And yeah, but that's don't expect that this year. I would say that for a definite, because just life got us.
Gone Splitters says, nice to see the group together. I think this has been asked before, but are there any plans to summon a certain player to another board to make individual scenes and such? Thanks.
Definitely want to do that. Yeah, the summoning stuff is like, it feels like a prototype.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm planning on like designing out on paper is we've been talking about this in the past, like the party system and things like that, and it makes sense for that to encapsulate a lot of the player management, so basically moving people around and things like that from a single place. So we'll see what that ends up being, but yeah, better ways of moving players around and summoning them. So and also being able to split them up in ways. And also it would be fun for multiple groups to be able to play in the same campaign comfortably and in ways that make sense.
Yeah, and it definitely feels good to have the group together. We just in time, Hannah will come back. She's the only one on the group that matches my craziness. So
yeah, she'll be back.
Slow
And
Dive
thank you.
Fan asks, will there be a marketplace for user-made content a la Minecraft with BR getting 30%? A way to keep funds coming in for Tailspire updates.
I mean, like, we don't have a solid plan on that yet, but again, people are asking us, so it's something I guess we need to think about. It's not been, it hasn't. Well, I feel like I'm getting into double negatives there. We've considered this stuff before. We've looked at options. We don't have here's a roadmap item that we're working towards. But it's good to hear that people are interested. As for the cut, we're not like we're not saying, oh, we want 30% like right out of the gate. Like we just got to look at what makes sense. Yeah.
Flapo asks, regarding ramps, do you have any internal reference for floor tile heights? Saying 1 by 2 is kind of meaningless, but 1 by 2 by 0.25 would be the height of a single floor tile slope.
I mean, we do have dimensions, don't we, that we keep to?
We do.
Yeah.
So most floor tiles are they're 0.5. Right?
They're 0.5,
yeah,
right?
They're 0.5, and then we have some that are 0.25.
Yes.
That are sort of more decorative.
Yeah.
So the smallest we go for floor tiles is 0.25.
Yes.
As far as slopes go, as in, I guess it could be, we could make them as shallow as we wanted to, because you can place tiles at a 0.25 increment.
Right. And that would
Um,
be insane.
Yeah. So, that would be insane. And as I said before, I haven't really considered slope, so it would have to be whatever for the purpose of whatever people want to use it for. So I'm guessing Jason probably has a better idea of like how it is used in. And you mentioned like wargaming and stuff like that, right? So,
wargaming maps, stuff like that. Well, I mean, that's what initially that's what I was like thinking about, but I mean, it could be used for anything really, especially for modern sets. There's a ton of ramps everywhere, and
so feel free to add that to the request. Like it's an increment of 0.25.
Burning Scythe asks, when you are in DM mode and looking at creatures, props, tiles to place down, there isn't an easy way to view the names of items and stuff easily without having to place it down, unless I'm missing something. Are there any plans for a little name tooltip pop up when you hover over it in the menu or something like that?
I know we've talked about kind of pop-up stuff before, and obviously there's that because we have that in some of the community content side of things, but it hasn't made its way over to the standard library yet.
Yeah, I think it's probably likely something we'll do at some point. We just need to make sensible names for things.
It would be nice. Yeah,
we can standardize names.
Yes.
Black Wolf Magic asks, can we manually reset the center point on a map in the event that our build is off center, or if the focus of the game session moves to a different section of the map?
Yeah, right now what you have to do is like use bookmarks and things like this, but yeah, like it feels the desire is the correct one. The implementation it's one of those things of like, because we got the F2 to go to a place, that's like something we could bodge into a useful feature, but what would be nicer if we made you a good feature that did what you want. So I think that's the way I would lean, but definitely the desire is spot on. Yeah. It's like if we had a mini map, that wouldn't be an issue, right? But yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, one of the things that could have potentially be done is being able to set a bookmark to be like the home bookmark.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Oh, yeah. Kind of like you said, a home board and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. Oh, I'll write down that for something else. Keep them going.
Next, Blappo asks, is it possible to make directional lighting? Bullseye lanterns attached to minis would be great.
Lighting in general is more complicated than it should be. So we do have one miniature that has like a spotlight.
That's right. The spotlight, right. And people were asking, I think like I can't remember when, but like it'd be cool to attach like something like a flashlight. You know, because like with the medieval ones, a torchlight, but for like modern ones, I mean, maybe even medieval ones, like a flashlight kind of thing, like the spotlight, you know, on that one miniature. I think somebody asked that before. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, as in there's no current plans for it, I guess, but make a feature request.
Black Wolf Magic asks, thoughts about a way to set draw distance for animations/lights to help with large board processing loads.
What I'd rather do is measure those board load issues and find out if that's definitely like what part of that is the thing that's slowing things down. Because there are already things that lights do at different distances, just built into Unity's default lighting system. So yeah, I'd like to look at that. Right, we really appreciate all the kind of things that are written up for us. The bug submission is amazing, but yeah, I am going to be, and it's going to be another answer to please write it down so we can go have a look after the fact because we don't want to forget this stuff. But yeah, performance is something. I like to work on, and yes, especially along lower end machines. There's like rendering is the thing. I'm just going to go for a rant now. Rendering is the thing that's eating up our frame right now, and I have got to look at things there because I'm getting little wins here and there on some systems, and it's just getting swallowed up by waiting for frame end. Let me go play. Yeah.
Shari Call asks, have you ever considered or are there plans to introduce a color editor of sorts? A tool that allows a map maker to edit the colors of tiles and assets.
Yeah, so our go-to answer on tile and prop tinting has been that's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll stick with that for now. When eventually the hero creator comes along, then there will be colorization of characters, which will also be extended into other like the creatures that we've already made and things like that. Like any time that we bring up tile tinting and stuff like that, there's as in full custom coloration wouldn't happen, but yeah, there's still like variants and stuff like that that's been itching on my mind, but we'll see what the future brings. But that would be just to create more variety rather than full control.
Yeah, so the tile tinting and modding kind of side of things, and then creature tinting. Yeah, one of the things that comes up because we've showed that like there's the GIF that's been going around forever of the creature tinting. The bit that isn't in that is that we would have to go back and redo all the textures for all of the creatures, and that is what will happen eventually. But yeah, I can say that comfortably being a person who isn't working on that. But yes, that's a beast of a job. But yeah, the hero creators is neat.
Yeah, luckily we have made some hopefully useful like methods to our pipeline to speed up that process. So we can only hope that it actually works out that way.
We shall see.
Black Wolf Magic asks, more rug tiles?
Sure, you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just, add a asset request. So
Yeah,
that's it.
had an asset request. I definitely want to make more. I do. Personally, I do want to make more rug assets.
Mm.
I want to make ones
Yeah,
that like even modern ones. I want to make the arcade ones with like the space carpets, and like at the roller rink and all that stuff. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, when we got the variant rotation, you can slap them on the wall as well, which would be quite nice.
Ah, that's a
Wallpaper.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was gonna say
bear
Dude.
wallpaper, bear skin wallpaper.
Well, we kind of already tried that with the with the mega sector, and that wasn't working out. But I mean, we can't stop people if they want to flip a rug and then just slap it on the wall.
Get tiling.
Yeah.
I am Debeen asks, have you considered granting DMs the ability to hide unique character names / sign names, etc.? Us players never look around, right? So I assume this is like how when you hold tab, you can see the names of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So have we considered making it possible to hide names?
I mean, we had like say because we've got the hide for that, which like obviously hides the entire thing, but that's not what you're after. I guess
imagine this would extend to hiding the name in initiative mode.
Yeah. I guess I don't recall having a discussion for that exact style of thing, if I'm honest. Do you remember, Jen?
No, I don't think we have. And like my immediate thought is that I'm not entirely sure where that would live as a concept. I mean, how I would normally get around it would probably just like rename the character initially, and then once they know, I would like give them their name. But of course, that's not as cool. I mean,
JRPG reveal of just like question mark becomes
yeah, question mark. Exactly. There you go. But it's something. Yeah, it's something we should jot down as like if we see a position where it makes sense to like put that in. Because then it's like, what else? What else do we want to be hiding? In a sense, like at that point, like what other things would we want to? Because the idea of reveals and stuff like that in a tabletop role playing game is like, it's a big deal. So yeah, maybe it should not only be that, but also extend to other things. So
yeah,
I would love to see go for it.
Well, no, I was just gonna say if you have like DM notes or notes for the players that you don't want to reveal yet, or little either puzzle pieces or lore or anything else like that, like stuff that in the future, if players can like right click on an object and get a description of it or something like that, little DM stuff, how flavor text essentially, and if you wanted to hide that flavor text before they do a search or something like that, so it would be a lot of the same kind of thing, like whether or not it's like a little like eyeball toggle thing next to text that you're able to like click on in the GM mode or something that's only a I don't know, whatever, man.
Yeah, so more of a
sorry, go for it.
No, I was just going to say more of a global concept of like hiding things players.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if if you have kind of stuff attached to creatures, extra information, and there's obviously hidden there like GM notes on the creature. If we make it super fast to be able to take something from there and set it as the name, so just making it more fluent to make changes anyway, if that could be natural enough, because I suppose the main thing is that you don't want to have to remember all the names for all the things before you do reveals. So if it's just with the creature and you can just come and knock it over, then that could be cool.
Feature requests.
Yeah, it's a good request. It's actually a
so we can now answer yes, Debeen. We are considering. It is happening live.
Yeah.
All right. J07SJ asks, wait, are we getting a mini map?
It's not on the roadmap. It will be dope, but like I have thought about it before, but I haven't got a great way of doing it. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff to draw, and I want to make sure I've got ideas. But I can't promise that yet because we've got enough to do. But beta request? I don't know. I think there probably is one already. I'm very sure there is.
Gone Splitter asks, are there plans of making something kind of a journal that takes notes of sessions? I think there are symbiotes for that, but
Yeah, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, as in we still have to like move into this space of like what we want to do for like persistent notes, etc., etc. Because there's probably a limit to what we want to do, but also I would love to get to the point, like a point where you can package up and share a campaign, and all of the information you need to play that campaign exists on the board, type of thing. So I'm not entirely sure how far we'll go in that use area of like doing session notes and stuff like that, but it might make sense. So don't know is my answer.
Yeah.
To that.
Yeah, it's something we've been having discussions of like it would be cool to investigate that space for years. So but it's not for lack of want of playing with that stuff, just time.
Dylan the Cripple asks, has there been any discussions on multi-part props conversion to model?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So multi-part props conversion to model. What does conversion to model mean? Oh, like conversion to like a creature?
Like a subboard to a creature or something, you know?
There has actually been. It's one of the. I can't remember what we were calling it at the time, but it was an idea of like, what if there was something you could do, like take some stuff, like, because the thing with subboards is in my head they're for big features, because you're dealing with actual buildings, and it's stuff that things can stand on and be moved around on them. Whereas there is a limit just on the way I've set up the data model for the board. There's a limit of the number of them. I can't remember if it's like 128 or 256 or something like that. Some power of 2 stupidness. But there is a limit. Whereas in a city, you're going to want maybe thousands of cars. And that that could be frustrating if you could only have a few of them. So we've talked about something that sits in that middle space. I was about to say we can't tell you what it is yet. It's not because it's a secret. Like we don't have an answer for you there. But it feels like something should be there, right?
I've been thinking about that lately, and like subboard, like a subboard character creator, and like nothing like that's what we're gonna have. But if you think about like getting like a Warhammer sprue, and you have like options for like I don't know, like one of the dwarven guys, like the Iron Beard. I forget what they're called, but it's either like an Iron Drake, or you can have a something like that. But basically, you can start with pieces of a model, and then like have one arm that has like an axe, or one arm that has like a handgun or something like that, and it would have like attachment pieces, and like the attachment points that we have on props right now. So you can drag out like just a torso. And then it would have attachment points on like its empty arm socket. Then you can attach like different arms and different heads to it and things like that, and make almost like a Mr. Potato Head thing, and then turn it into a miniature, or a subboard or whatever like that, But of course that's ridiculous. So it's that would be ridiculous. So
well, I mean, the moment we can make sort of props and group them into like a miniature. Now, I'm not saying that's what we're going to do, but there's something like that we've been talking about, right? Or some sort of grouping that we can move around. Making mech parts with like attachment points would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'd be sick. You could just blast them off. No, because then you have to go in. We need like a button we can hit for just like some border that comes up with just like rampant speculation, just with flashing lights. Nice. If there's ever any doubt that we're like I don't know, lore building fantasy kind of like just dreaming about what features we could have, just like you, that should put it to rest, because we think it's cool too.
Gone Splitter asks, it could be cool to attach an aura, like the AoE is about to release, to a miniature for spells that follow the caster and such.
100%. The only thing that stopped me doing that is like, well, it just needs doing. It just needs doing. It's like I've got to whenever I do stuff to creatures, there's the uniques and the non-uniques, and the unique changes involve server changes. So when there's like two things that need doing, and that one's got slightly more friction because it needs backend changes, that one tends to wait a bit longer. But like technically, we've got all the pieces for it. And now that we've got Pavel just being awesome on the back end, like he's like setting us up so well that I'm feeling so much more confident about us like doing things back there. And so yeah, like it would be really cool. Yeah, not that we lack for things to do this year, but yeah, it would be neat. It'll come down the line. I'm sure.
JA07SJ asks, any chance we can get vertical fog to change its coloring and shading based on time of day and sun position?
I thought there was already a version for the vertical fog that did that.
Did we not ship it?
Okay. Let's see. Isn't like atmosphere? Isn't there like a? Yeah, I think it does, doesn't it?
I mean, it looks like it's changing color, depending on like
Okay, but not on the
position of
sun
the sun.
direction. Yeah, and
Okay,
the reason why
gotcha.
it sort of changes color based on the the sky stuff. It doesn't change based on the direction of the sun because it knows nothing about direction. It's such a that vertical fog thing is such a crazy hack. I was so incredibly surprised when it worked at all.
Nice.
So it's but as a result, it's such a stupid thing.
That's great.
Well, yeah.
It
So
looks
yeah, maybe at some point we'll look at it again once we start doing a bunch of like path tracing and things in game, for making fancy effects and stuff.
I gotta get that running on a fucking integrated graphics card, man. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gone Splitter asks, what do you guys think would be the best release for Tailspire this year? Feature mods, etc.
Oh, like stuff that we've done already?
or maybe stuff that we're going to do. In my opinion, it's going to be the Fog of War hack.
We're taking off the branding team. I think you mean excellent vision system. That
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, man. Yeah. No. Listen, no. I mean, look though, it's my favorite. It's my favorite release of the year. So,
I am stunned by how many creatures there are. Like, I would love to get onto tiles and prop modding. So like, yeah, I'm really happy that how that went. What's hard is like we're like existing like so often in just the moment of what. Well, for me, I'm existing in the moment of what I'm building that I forget how much we've done this year.
I totally forgot about creature modding. That's actually that's probably the biggest. That's insane. What that has done for the game is incredible.
Yeah. And there's so much still to go on it as well, which is great. Like once we get the because we don't the versioning system for it isn't in there in the way I envisioned it yet. So what we're going to be able to do when we can have like multiple versions handled better, and how that's going to work with updates and board sharing is going to be great. And that's a prerequisite for the tiles because it becomes so important. Right now it is possible for you and your friend to have a different version of the same mod installed, and that is going to be fixed. But yes, with creatures, it tends to be something small. With tiles, it can be like story breaking. So yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, sorry, that wasn't the question. I just I'm ranting about my worries
my
again.
answer was definitely going to be the creature modding.
Sick.
Yeah. So, but yeah, to elaborate, because now we're talking about tile and prop modding for some reason, which yeah, another reason why that's taking longer is because there are things that we still need to nail down about that format.
Yes, I have thoughts. It's great.
Mine, if I had to choose one to look forward to, it'd be the dice engine. But
Oh,
but
shut
in
up.
terms of what we've released, creature mods for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
hands down.
Dice is gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
really
insane.
excited
Yeah,
about that.
Dice Engine is going to be.
It's that first little dip into like rules-based automation, and ooh, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we're building a foundation on that one to build on, which I'm pleased. I'm pleased with how that's going. Though I have been slightly distracted recently because of cool stuff that we're getting out.
Before we get on to the next question, I'm going to say that I'm going to go ahead and shut down the question bot in 2 minutes at 20 after the hour.
Get 'em
so
in.
if you got any more questions in, get them in then. Our next is from Gogots Maps, asks, what are your current priorities?
Yeah, I'll go last on that one.
Oh, well, okay. So for the art, current priorities are Kickstarter rewards. That's we gotta get that off the docket, and then we'll move back on to just kind of make a sector, etc. But right now for art stuff, it's Kickstarter rewards all the way, full pedal to the metal.
Awesome. I think for me, it's primarily getting back into society and actually getting to work again and doing all of those things and slowly just whittle myself back into Tailspire.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and then I mean, yeah, it's like I'm on break at the moment, which is good. So my focus has to be that for a little bit. But yeah, after dice, man, all the dice. Or actually, that just sounded like we're get all the dice in one go. I want to get the dice engine to be sick, and then we'll look at dice modding in the future and stuff. I'm scanning through the stuff we've done this year, and it's actually we've got some stuff done.
Yeah, dude.
We've had quite a lot.
Yeah.
Black Wolf Magic asks, I asked last time, any further thoughts about mini to prop conversion, reverse of prop to mini, so we can make statues, maybe of the gold dragon? Thanks for making such a great tool. I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, I mean, I basically kind of same stance as before. There is something there, right? Like that's something that comes up, and I like that definitely more than I'm not sure what the visual component would be, but I definitely like it more than just like hiding bases and having creatures there because they're so easy to click and accidentally move. I think that got made as a feature request already. So yeah, fantastic. Get your upvotes and we will review on that. But I don't have a new thing to say about that one yet.
Like
Probably going to come off.
Yeah, go Johnny. No.
Yeah, I'm going to say that. Okay, it's probably going to come after prop orientation because I don't want that to be the way that people rotate props.
Oh,
let's take this wall and knock them over, like.
Yeah.
And then we have a knocked over wall.
The mini to prop thing would be cool. It's just that like it would feel better if there was if you were doing a statue, it'd be like, okay, fine. Metallic, stone, wood. It'd be like, okay, so like put a effect on the miniature before you turn it into a prop, essentially. So it doesn't look like there's just a miniature without a base in the game, you know? Yeah, I know that people want that though. There are some people who want like miniatures without bases.
Yeah, but like we tackle base problems as like we address base features as base features, and we you don't want to make a bad feature out of something else when you can make two good.
And really, I mean, that would come from visual effects from spells like stone skin, etc. Bark skin, all that kind of stuff. You could apply that thing to a mini. Anyways, we're gonna.
Yeah, if that was the reason to turn it to a statue, then that would be interesting.
Yeah.
JA07SJ asks, are there any long-term goals for symbiotes? I'd love to be able to have scripting that would allow for moving minis and changing stats. It would be cool if we could make a choose-your-own-adventure style single-player modules.
I remember if you use the word choose your own adventure, lawyers descend from the sky. So be careful.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, like changing stats and changing initiative is like top of the symbiote list right now. Applying changes to the board. So the thing has been like, okay, how do we make sure that we don't just like if you write an infinite loop where you're just like change, like not flood the server, and also not just take down the connection between things. So there's some rate limiting stuff there. And it was just getting time to talk to Pavel, which I've done, to get some ideas for that kind of stuff. And there's got some ideas. Yeah, but yeah, having symbiotes change things in the board is very, very interesting. And like it almost makes me think when it comes to building things from symbiotes, almost like composing slabs and then applying them there's some cool things we could do. I got my mind flits between like old logo style writing, like the cursor kind of thing, that programs that kind of walk around, but I don't know if that's the right way to do it, or kind of like building things that are then applied to the board like a transaction. But yeah, yes, and we are thinking about that stuff. Very high on the list.
Black Wolf Magic asks, animated lava slider, like for water?
I mean, there were thoughts on like doing different like types of water at one point. I think it's fallen pretty far down on the priority list. But...
Yeah, generally we use glowing haze, but I'm sure you know that already.
Sorry, what?
Generally people have been using glowing haze.
Yeah.
Black Wolf Magic asks, related to my previous question, would it be possible to set a custom slider based on a tile rather than restricted to water? Like if everything should be a field of grass or sand?
It would be very repetitive. I don't like the sound of how that would look. I get the desire, but yeah.
Yeah. So I would have to be like really sold on the use case for that. If the use case is basically you want to fill this area with something, then like hopefully the terrain system and stuff will help a little bit with that eventually when we get to that. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure how it is meant to be used.
Our last question for the night. That guy Baldrix asks, are screen space reflections supposed to work on water? They currently do not. I put it in a bug report, but wasn't sure if it was more of a feature request.
Screen space reflections in general are partially broken at the moment, so it's probably a bug. But then again, the way I did the water, I'm going to say it's probably a draw order thing. So yeah, it's appropriate to live in bugs, I think.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Well, with that being said, is there anything more for any more, team?
Just a shout out to the mods. Thank you guys once again for
always.
being awesome. And thank you, community. You guys, it's so awesome to hang out with you, man. And it's cool that people are still showing up and asking questions and interested in what we're doing here. And it's awesome.
Yeah, even on the months that feel a little slower from the outside. It's thanks for coming by. It's fun.
Yeah. If all goes well, our next Bouncyrock's bi-monthly banter will be on October 11th. So keep an eye out as we get closer to that to make sure that will still be the case. As usual, we'll announce it on our socials and in the Discord. So it's great to always hang out and have a great time with you guys. So look forward to doing it again in a few months.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Take care, folks.
All right. See you guys.
See y'all.